In a previous video, I had to replace the pull start rope on this Snapper 522 snowblower. I added some fresh fuel to the tank but was unable to start the engine. It would kick with some starter fluid, but it wouldn't stay running. So my prime suspect was the carburetor. First order of business was to remove the cover, held with these 3 screws. So pull the choke knob off, and then you have to maneuver this. Clear that. Drop that down. And then this out of the way. Watch out for that ground wire. Then remove the fuel bowl by unscrewing the bowl nut, which also contains the main jet. Have a cup handy to catch any fuel that may spill out when the bowl is removed. Use caution when removing the bowl because you don't want to damage the float assembly or bowl gasket. Alright, so here's our float. I used a plier to gently remove the float retainer pin. Support the float with one hand while you remove the pin with the other. Once the pin is removed, gently lower the float to free the needle valve from the carburetor body. And you can see there is the valve. My quick check was to see if the needle valve was stuck, so I opened the fuel valve and allowed some fuel to flow through before replacing the valve and bowl. Unfortunately, the bowl gasket had dry rotted so badly that it fell apart when it was removed. I happened to have some liquid gasket maker that claimed to be suitable for fuel contact, so I created a makeshift gasket for the bowl so I could at least get the machine running in time for the incoming storm. It worked for a few minutes before stalling out. Having lost my patience and realizing that the gasket material may not have cured properly, I decided that the least labor-intensive solution was to replace the carburetor. Okay, we have the carburetor here, which I think I destroyed because I tried using some of that make a gasket, even though it said it was good for fuel. It was either old and no good anymore or something was bad, but it is leaving residue and I think it actually made its way into the carburetor. So not going to recommend using that. So I do have a new carburetor right here. Pick that up. It's actually part of a kit. I'm glad it actually came as a full kit because I noticed this is the primer tube, and I don't know if this machine got serviced once before, but this tube got routed right next to the muffler and there's actually a hole in it. So I think the primer is not really doing too much. I think it's supposed to route under the carburetor, not over it and next to the muffler. Loosen the Phillips screw to free the ground connection to the cover so it can be moved out of the way. Remove the 2 Phillips screws securing the cover bracket and linkage for the choke knob. Remove the primer tube by pulling on it gently. In my case, I didn't care about being gentle because I knew I was replacing the tube. Remove the 2 7/16 nuts securing the carburetor to the engine. If the retaining bolts spin, then hold them with your fingers or a 3/8" wrench. You may need to remove the fuel line before attacking the right-hand side nut. My machine had one of the squeeze-style clamps. Squeeze the tabs together and move the clamp. In the end, I found it was easier to remove the nut first. You'll see why. Pull the carburetor out a bit to free it from the bolts. You can then rotate it to disconnect the governor linkage. This linkage is what limits the speed of the engine. Once the linkage was off, I found it was easier to then twist the entire carburetor to disconnect the fuel line. Note the gasket that was on the engine side of the carburetor. Clean the engine surface to prepare it for the replacement carburetor. I used a flat screwdriver to gently pry the primer bulb free from the blower housing and pull out the primer and tube. I'm not sure if this tube was melted, chewed, or just dry rotted. I fed the new primer tube now to avoid having to work around the new carburetor. Here's the new carburetor with the gasket. Note this piece here is the throttle shutter. This controls the amount of fuel-air mixture that enters the engine. Let's reconnect the linkage. Make sure to insert the linkage into the same hole that it went into in the old carburetor. If your machine looks a little different, take pictures. Now let's set the carburetor on the bolts. Push on them so they stick out fully, and then thread on the nuts. Use the 7/16 and 3/8" wrenches to secure the carburetor. Reattaching the fuel line is a pain in the butt in my opinion, So leave a comment if you have suggestions on how to make them go on more easily. Once the fuel line is seated, resecure the clamp. Next, let's plug in the primer tube and tuck it in so that there's not too much slack to the left of the carburetor. Reinstall the cover bracket. Note that the choke lever has a flattened area which must be properly aligned between the two plates in order for it to be able to rotate. As the bracket is being lifted into place, feed the choke rod onto the lever on the carburetor. Be careful not to cross-thread the screws. Note when the choke is engaged, there's another shutter that cuts off the air intake to richen the fuel mixture to aid in starting a cold engine. Do a quick check to make sure you've got everything: linkage, screws, clamps. Make sure that you have enough slack in the primer tube and then cut it to length. Yes, I know I'm using pruning shears, but I don't have a good set of regular shears. Hey, they did the job. Push and twist to seat the tubing on the new primer bulb, and then snap it into the blower housing. Okay. And that's the primer. So I've opened the valve, I put some fresh fuel in, no signs of leakage. So let's choke it, give it a pump. Looks like it's running well. Let's reinstall the ground wire in the cover. Put this guy on. There we go. That's still working. Alright, she's back up and running, and I'm going to get it right this time. It is not a Toro, it is a Snapper Model 522. And as you can see, these carburetors, it's not that hard and not too expensive to replace them. So if you do run into a situation where your carburetor is gunked up and you don't want to deal with having to clean it, then for 20 bucks you can actually just replace it. How long it's going to last, can't tell you, but we shall see. Luckily this does not get a lot of use. I don't think I used it at all last year, and that's probably why I ended up with the problem I had. As always, thank you so much for watching. Hit that like and subscribe button if you want to see more of my videos, and until the next one, see you later.